If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Minds YouTube channel. Don't forget to show your support by following us on Spotify and by following our social media platforms, links to which are in the description of this video.
With another episode with me, Scott Allen, and
yourself, Gareth Evans-Perry.
And we have some lovely guests in the studios, and we have
Louise Ost,
Brandy Singh,
Sienna Wildman,
Millie Nansen,
and Paul Lost.
And obviously we started with the sweet female attitude. We were all talking in the studio, and I've clicked the wrong buttons, and it was Gareth's fault this time. But obviously, guys, well, we were just talking, obviously, off mic. We wasn't on air at the same time. So what is the actual show about, and what is all the titles? Because you've got a fair few titles to go through, right?
So we're the cast of I Know the End, which is a new musical using the music of Phoebe Bridgers and her surrounding bands. That we're debuting the Swindon Arts Centre on 19th, 20th of July. I'm Louise. I'm the director, producer, writer, musical director, assistant choreographer. I forgot that one. And overall, control freak, really. The show is my baby.
So, obviously, the last time we had you on the show, you kind of caused me a little bit of a problem with our live. You sung that well on the live, it went to copyright infringements, so we couldn't use it again correctly on there. So obviously we all know that you can sing very, very well. You're going to sing some pieces. So what pieces are you going to sing for us today?
So we're going to do a little excerpt from Not Strong Enough, originally by Boy Genius, True Blue, also Boy Genius, and Steamroller, which is Phoebe Bridgers. Thank you, Brandy, was helping me out there.
And she is the one that is very clever and knows everything about psychology.
Yes, that's right.
So we are going to put her on the spot today, because she came through for us on the last show and was actually telling us how we could deal with our mental health.
Yeah.
She's looking like that. So obviously since the last show you've been on other radio stations. How was that?
Oh, it was wonderful. We did BBC Wiltshire, which was really nice. Had a little chat about the show, the process, and just gave me a chance to big up the cast, really, and just be like, everyone come see it, because everyone's so good. And that was, it was really lovely.
So has it been, obviously you was on here, you did very well at singing, because you, obviously, as we already know, you caused me a little bit of a problem with the live. But obviously, has it been stressful, and how have you been getting through it? What have you been doing between the last show and this show?
God, it's kind of all ramped up, I think. We've bought a lot because we're also building the set ourselves. We bought everything and painting and
Is that what Dad's doing?
Yeah.
That's what I'm for. Yeah.
So it's kind of ramped up. We've got all our costumes and stuff now. We did a full run of, Act 1, no stopping.
Wow.
Thanks, really.
Really well. Really well.
Obviously, we've got the four of you in today. How many cast members have you actually got?
Ooh, we got 14 cast members, kind of range. We sort of range from age 17 to, I don't want to give Mel's age. We have a few, a few older cast members as well, but the majority is sort of 17 to 20.
And this all started off with a workshop, right?
Yeah.
As that's kind of what you put together, and so that's how you came into the actual performance and everything, was through the workshop.
Yeah, so I didn't know anyone here, but I didn't know you that well, Brandy. And I followed Lou on Instagram because she went to the college that I'm now going to, Cirencester, doing performing arts, and she put on her Instagram story, I'm doing a workshop on a Phoebe Bridgers musical, and I love Phoebe Bridgers.
So what is Phoebe Bridgers? Because obviously we were just having to discuss before we went on air. What?
What? Who?
What? Where? Yeah, exactly.
For us older clients,
So I wrote a little bio about her. She's an LA singer-songwriter. Her first album came out in 2017, Stranger in the Alps. So she's still fairly new.
Breaking through herself.
Yeah. But she won independent breakthrough artist or something for her first album. Then she released Punisher in 2020. But she's 11-time Grammy nominee, 4-time Grammy winner. So she's
she's got the title
she's doing
behind,
alright.
right?
But so she's kind of in this indie folk kind of genre. Her biggest inspiration is Elliott Smith, so it's that sort of music. But she's also part of a few bands. There's Boy Genius, which is Lucy Dacus, Julian Baker, and Phoebe, and they've just won Best International Group at the Brits. They're not strong enough, which is a song that we'll do an excerpt of, won Best Rock Song.
So all the songs from, or some of the songs, or all of the songs from what?
Yeah, so there's songs from Phoebe Bridgers, Boy Genius, and then Better Oblivion Community Centre, which is her other band, they've only released one album, but it's her and Connor Burst. So all the music is her and her universe of stuff.
So what made you pick that specific music to go put this together?
I love her so much. When I was writing the show, it was kind of like an exercise for me. I wasn't thinking I want to put this on. I was just like, I'll try it. And then at the time I was listening to a lot of Phoebe, because her music kind of fits. She talks a lot about mental health, she talks a lot about her own struggles and anxieties. And so I feel like you guys will probably agree, the music relates a lot to people who are struggling. Okay. It can be music to cry to or to feel hopeful. That's kind of the sphere of her music. And it's so beautifully written. There's so much story in her music. So when I was like, I'll write something, and then I was listening to her and I was like, why don't I try and create a story from bits and pieces in her music? Because she has a lot of metaphors that she uses throughout. So she mentions birds quite a lot in her music. So naturally, the music kind of lends itself to be a narrative. And I just love her. I saw her live in 2019, I think. Maybe.
Oh, the rest of the group didn't know that.
Yeah.
Just,
and it was the best concert I've ever been to in my life. I cried. She stage dived. We were quite near the front, so I got to hold her up. It was, best night. Yeah. Yeah. Jealous.
On that note then, so what song do you want to start with for the listeners at home?
Shall we do Not Strong Enough? This is Boy Genius. We'll just do the end. A little snippet at the end for you.
And this is obviously what you're going to be singing at. So anybody that's listening that didn't know it like we didn't, but obviously want to know whether it's something that you'd want to go and listen to and watch the show, obviously here's a snippet from it.
Ready? Okay. I don't know why I am the way I am. There's something in the static. I think I've been having revelations coming to in the front seat. Nearly empty, skip the exit to our old street and go home alone.
Wow. And so obviously with that song, what part of that does that come in to the actual show?
That is, do you want to explain? It's Leo's song. Brandon can explain. So this is in Act 2 towards the end sort of the show. There's Lucille and Leo, and they've kind of had a little... they've had a bit of an argument. Do you want to explain where Leo's at this point in the show?
Leo's just very distressed and having a rough time because the character doesn't... It's not that they don't struggle with mental health, just not in the same way as Lucille, the character of, does and has. And so they don't understand her headspace. And so they've had an argument relating to that and this misunderstanding between them. And it's not strong enough is used because Leo doesn't feel like they can handle Lucille's, or just Lucille in general, and all that she's gone through and is going through, and the fact that she hasn't yet recovered from it. So it's just like they're not strong enough to help her, sort of thing. So that's what the song is.
So being a psychology student, I was quite glad that you picked her. So what do you think went wrong, obviously, when they were communicating with that bit to obviously have the misunderstanding?
I think it's somewhat a sense of ignorance of, I've never experienced it, I don't need to know about it, and I wouldn't know about it. So they just don't know what to do in the circumstance that they're in, because they want to help. It's just, how do you help someone when you don't know or understand what they're going through? You don't know what avenue to take, you don't know how to assist, and which way is best to assist, because you can try multiple different things, but who's to say it will work?
See? And this. How many years did you do with this?
Literally just 2.
Just 2 years. And there's me and you still struggling, kind of trying to work out what to do next. Okay, so, excuse me. So we have, obviously, that part of the show. When, obviously, you wrote this, obviously, there was a purpose behind why you wanted to put all this together.
Yeah.
which was for the people at
Yes.
home. Obviously, because it means a lot to you with obviously why you put this together, right?
Yeah, this is kind of, as I said, it was never meant to see the light of day. It was just meant to be for me originally, and then I think I should have showed it to you. Or I showed it to someone. They were like, "This is actually really good." I was like, "Really? Stop." And
Modesty.
yeah. So I wanted to kind of put. I feel like there's a lot of representation for the very extremes of mental health. So you know, like very, very different disorders that are like.
So there's quite a few different disorders in the actual play itself.
Yeah, I think, but in media there's a lot of the extreme, like DID and things like that. You have films like Split, where James McAvoy, my love, is like, he's like a monster or something, and that's like the extremes. And I think I've always kind of felt a bit maybe misrepresented to people who are struggling but aren't the complete like ends of the spectrum, that there are middle grounds, so you can have bad days and good days, and I didn't see a lot of that. It was all people who were really, really, really ill or fine.
Yeah.
So I think in the show I kind of wanted to explore characters that were unwell but not. Some of them are very unwell, but
It's
some
like in the
of them
middle
are,
of the spectrum kind of
yeah,
thing, so it's
'cause I
not
feel
one
like,
extreme to the other.
you know, we all struggle as humans with our mental health at points in our life, and I think it can be easy to feel like you're not ill enough to either reach out or, oh, I'm feeling really bad or I'm struggling with this, but I'm not ill enough to worry anyone. Yeah. And I think kind of the point is that if you're feeling a certain way, you should talk about it and communicate it.
That's one of the things that one of our friends often says, is everybody's problem is relevant.
Yeah.
It all depends on their circumstance, how big that issue actually is to them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes people feel that if they're really struggling, well, why am I struggling? I've got a house and I've got a family, and so I shouldn't feel like I'm struggling, when actually sometimes it can
Everyone's mental health is relevant to that person, right?
Yeah, definitely. And so I think in the show I kind of wanted to explore that and look at the spectrum of that, because like even Leo has their struggles.
Is Leo one of the main characters?
Yeah, you've got the four. You've got Lucille, Leo, Emily and Dylan, and they all kind of have their own struggles to different degrees, but they're all valid in that. I think it's validity is kind of the.
So what if you don't mind me asking it, what kind of mental health problems does Leo have then? Because I know obviously the person that is playing Leo, and then I'm going to ask exactly the same question to you after.
So Leo Leo struggles with communication, I think, is the biggest thing. They talk a bit in the show about the communication with their mother, and there's a disconnect there. And also, again, feeling the weight of being like having a lot of feelings for someone that is really struggling, and Leo takes a lot of that on themselves and then sort of breaks down into this, like, I feel like I'm not strong enough to help you because I'm going through stuff, I'm dealing with stuff, and then kind of taking on the guilt of that. I think the biggest thing is probably guilt for Leo.
There's a lot of nodding going on in the studio. There's a lot of nodding going on. So obviously the same question to you, would you agree to
100% agree.
with your 2-year psychology?
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. You can see it vary and change throughout the whole musical. At the beginning, you don't suspect anything really, because it's like, oh, happy-go-lucky, like, I'm fine, everything's great, I'm the lucky one in the group sort of thing, like, I've got nothing wrong. And then you kind of see through subtly conversations like, oh, maybe they're not the complete okay person they've portrayed themselves to be. And then you just kind of see it the facade, I'd argue, start to fade. And they show that they are actually human, and such as everyone else has mental health, and it can be bad at times. So it's just kind of that, and it somewhat spirals.
So there we go, we've got it now. That's the right word. So obviously, ladies, with the characters that you're both playing, do they have mental health problems, or are you more of a support kind of person in the actual show?
For my character, I'm playing Emily, and I think Emily definitely is. Emily suffers from the miscommunication of Lucille's mental health and how Lucille basically takes all of it out on Emily. And I think for me, when I'm playing her, I feel that I don't know if Lou intended to write it like this, but for me playing it, I feel that she feels a lot of anxiety towards the unknown, and sort of why she doesn't really, she unlike Leo doesn't really know how to handle Lucille, where I think Emily does, but Lucille doesn't allow her to. So, and I think that is a really big, for me, a big thing of the play, whereas Lucille focuses a lot on someone who cares about her a lot but has no idea how to handle her, whereas she's completely ignoring someone who does, but I think she takes out on her quite a lot.
So there's quite a fair few emotions going on with all the different characters. How long is the actual show?
It's 2 hours. Well, Act 1 is like an hour 10, so it's a bit of a long Act 1, and then 40 minutes, 50 minutes Act 2. So yeah, it's about a 2-hour show. We get through a lot.
So with your character, what is your character going with?
So I play Dylan, and Dylan is part of this trio with Lucille and Emily at the beginning, and I think she takes a lot of responsibility for like keeping this trio like connected because of all of the little disputes or arguments, and also I think she struggles with the fact of knowing that her 2 best friends aren't alright, so that should automatically mean that she also shouldn't be alright and should try and help even though she doesn't know how to. And I also think there are parallels with Dylan's character and Lucille's character with their family life and their relationship with their mother, but I think how the 2 characters handle the situation is quite different.
Also very much substance abuse for Dylan.
Yes, and substance abuse.
Add that on the end.
The substance abuse. That's the bit.
So, how did you pick your characters? Did you just read the parts and try out for them?
Auditioned.
We auditioned for them, yeah.
I made them audition.
Yeah.
Because you all did the workshop, so I kind of had...
So you had the insight of why that character fits with that one, that personalities, and be able to push the actual bit through. So going forward then, with somebody that wants to come along, obviously where can they go to get a ticket? Because obviously we're going to come into a bit of music with your next one. So where can they go? Obviously we're going to put up on the Open Doors, Open Minds the QR code which will take them through to the website which they can do the bookings. Where else can they go to get the information?
Yeah, so the Wyvern Theatre website, the Arts Centre website, Trafalgar tickets, you got both shows on there. You can get your tickets from there. If not, we've our Instagram, I know the end _musical. We have the link in our bio as well to get tickets. Yeah.
So, okay, before we do the music thing, I'm not going to ask for the answers now, but I don't know if I asked you this last time. Do you think mental health is curable? I can't remember if I asked you. I did. With you, I did. Can you remember the outcome for that one? Because obviously Jeff and Bitsby said different.
We got it
Well, we're
right.
gonna
We got it right. We
ask
answered
you again.
correct.
Yeah, we'll ask you again.
Yeah, we're going to ask you again. So obviously, girls, we're going to come into obviously you girls singing again. What song are we going to be singing?
Ooh, true. Is that True Blue? Should I
Should do it again.
We'll
And
see. Yeah, we'll see.
where does that come in the actual show?
So this is, it kind of is, there's a teaser of it early in the show between the 3 friends, so they're kind of like improvising a little song while they're a little bit waved, and they sort of improvise the song, and then later at the towards the end of Act 1, it's kind of, they've all kind of split and they've come back together in this moment, and this is kind of them consolidating that they love each other.
So
really.
this song is setting the scene then for that one of coming back together.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
Okay. Oh goodness. Okay. And it feels good to be known so well. I can't hide from you like I hide from myself. I remember who I am when I'm with you. Your love is tough, your love is tried and true blue.
Wow. So, all right, I'm going to rephrase that question after that song. as your characters that you play, with that question, if I was asking you in the role of the person you are playing, what would be your answer? Is mental health curable? I'll let any one of you go first.
I don't know.
I can go first.
Yeah, go on then, please.
So Lucille would probably say no at the start of the show. She'd probably go, I'm stuck like this forever, nothing's going to get better, there's nothing I can do, it's going to be awful forever. It's kind of where she's at the start of the show. And then as it goes on and she communicates more and she learns more about herself and the people she loves, I think she wouldn't say she was cured, but I think she'd say she was better.
So
and I think
what made her change, obviously on the journey as your character and obviously going through, what made that they changed their mind as they went through? What was it that gave them hope, or what tools did they learn?
See the show.
Yeah, I can watch the show. I think, the biggest thing is hope. I think she learns that people love her, that she kind of feels very alone, but as she sort of goes through and has these difficult situations, but also these lovely moments, like that moment for True Blue is a lovely moment where they're all connected and they're just saying that they love each other, and she opens up more to her mum. That's a big thing for her sort of on her journey. That I think the biggest thing, and it is repeated quite a lot in the show, is about her getting better. She says to Leo, I'm better now. I'm okay, I'm better. And I think that's the big thing, is that she's not fixed, but she's better.
Each day I'm getting better and better by each day.
Yeah, I think the song Graceland 2 is all about, again, I think I mentioned last time on the show, the lyric, she knows she lived through it to get to this moment. And I think that, I cry every time I try and sing that, because it's like, it's really emotional. I think it's that, it's knowing that we lived through it to get here, and that here is every new day we live through it to get to this moment here.
Anybody else want to do it from their character's point of view after that one?
Go on then.
I can try. With my character Dylan, I think at the beginning, Dylan's very merry. Or merry,
Doesn't
is
really
that
care.
a word? He doesn't really care. I wouldn't say Dylan would say that mental health is curable. I just think she would be in denial that it even existed in the first place.
So agree with that.
But I think as the story progresses and as Dylan progresses, I think she would learn to accept it and know that it isn't curable, even though she would want it to be.
Wow.
Nice.
Go on then.
So for Emily, I think her character, she's a very selfless person, and I do think that she would believe mental health is like a, not necessarily curable, but like we said last time, it's something that you can keep up, and I think she would be under the sort of impression that it takes other people to help with mental health. But I think that she doesn't think it necessarily is for herself, maybe. I think she does a lot. I think, does a lot for other people in the show, but not a lot for herself. So I think that she has a very difficult relationship with her own mental health, but I think for others that she sort of has hope for them. I think she makes a lot of sacrifices for Lucille, a lot, and she gets treated quite badly, but I think she has hope for mental health, but not for herself, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
sounds like me as a character. I feel better about my mental health by helping other people.
Yeah, it's exactly
that makes
like
me
her.
feel better.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Yeah, that's exactly why we do what we do. That's how
Yeah.
I got this in the first time, being the voice for that I didn't have, and ended up trying to be the voice for other people, which also then, when I realised I was talking about it, made my mental health better by helping somebody else with their mental health, because I also learnt myself on the way. So come on then, you know exactly where I'm going with this.
This one's actually, I've been thinking whilst everyone's speaking, trying to listen to them, but also decide my answer, because I'm really conflicted, because part of me wants to say they're just ignorant to it and don't care for mental health as being a thing, but also part of me is like, Leo is such an educated character that surely they know about it, and they mention Call to the Void, Lapel Davide. So they're aware of obviously mental health and the impacts and whatnot, but I think they know it exists, but they don't know if it's curable because they wouldn't know how to save someone with a bad mental health. I say in quotation marks, so you can't see that. But they want to help and assist with people's mental health, but they just don't know how. So they know it exists, but I don't think they think it's curable because they wouldn't know how to cure it, if that's okay.
No, do it again.
No, we want a different... no. So obviously, with the younger generation, everybody knows mental health exists, right? But do you think anybody knows actually what to do if they had a friend or family member? As people yourselves obviously doing the play, has it taught you anything of how to deal with somebody in the sense of, because of your characters and all the rest of it, has it given you, if somebody said to you, well, I'm suffering, and said certain key words, would you know where to send them and what to do?
I think it's knowing your own limitations as well as wanting to help people. So I think, I don't know about y'all, but my experience sometimes when I was younger was like staying up late on the phone to some people, like your friends. I feel it's quite a common, I see a lot of memes about it. Like when you're quite young and people being like, I'm going to do this, I'm feeling real bad, and you're like 12 and you're like, no, don't, I love you, like, and it's like, when you're that age, how are you meant to communicate and help people, like other young people struggling? So it's knowing your limitations, but it's also like being the voice, because some people just need to be heard, and that's what they need. I think this show as well, like, I think Leo kind of knows that their limitations is they don't know how, they can't be there for Lucille. I think the way that they fail, quote unquote fail, is they don't offer any other help. I think, as in, like, you can go, I can't help you, but here's a resource that I found, here's an online resource, or let's go to the doctors together, let's, like, call a therapist. So I think with helping other people, just being an ear, like, just listening to people can do so much. But if it gets to the point where you know that actually I can't help this person as much as I want to, instead of stepping back and go, well, I can't help you, it's going, okay, how do we find this? Let's find resources. Let's try and get you to a place where we can get you to someone who can help you. Because we're not therapists. Well, Brandy's done psychology, obviously. But there are, there's lots of things that we don't know how to handle. I think empathy as humans is a good thing to have. But yeah, it's a difficult one, I think.
Because it's a bit of a weird subject to actually have. So obviously, as a group, obviously, what you said, there was 14, 15 of you?
Yeah.
So in your group, obviously you've been very working close together. Do you check in with each other, as in you can see in the group if someone's having a bad day?
We do check in.
What was that?
At the start of every rehearsal, I like to do a little check-in. It's something I stole from Eleanor Dillon-Reams, who was a practitioner who I worked with when I was at Mount View for a bit. She always did check-ins at the start of every rehearsal, and we do what colour we feel, and I like to do what colour you feel like, and one good thing, and then maybe if we're doing a run, like anxieties. And I think it's really helpful to get the gauge of everyone in the room. So I go because if you say, if someone goes, yeah, I'm feeling really dark blue and I'm not feeling very good today, you know that at the start of the rehearsal. And then we do it again at the end of the rehearsal, and they might be, well, now I'm feeling a light blue, and it's like, okay, so we've helped that person, like.
So is it different colours mean, obviously the dark, obviously I think that's quite obvious what that one is, but obviously does different colours mean?
It's kind of whatever it means to the person. So it could just be the vibe of the day, or however, it's not like rigid structure of this colour means this, but it's a good little check, because people usually then explain what they mean. So if they go, you usually pick red, and you go, I'm a happy red, and we go, okay, well, you're feeling happy then.
Yes.
That it's I think I really love doing that, because it's also a gauge, because if I'm feeling really groggy and not feeling very good, but I let
the stress
y'all
is starting
know.
to get you as you're getting closer to the show.
Yeah, it's like, well, you guys know that, okay, we'll focus and not mess around.
What's your thought process for after the show? 'Cause obviously it's quite deep and meaningful. You all got a close bond. That's going to break up.
Have you just hit the sore subject there?
But it's going to happen, and obviously we know from the last session you've all dealt with your own issues. You know, this isn't the end. What's next?
Yeah.
Well, the sadness in the room.
That's really it.
Just suck the energy.
Yeah, you just killed it. Well done, guys. We was on a real high then.
And we'll get on another high. This isn't the end, but you know, there's going to be people that have pushed to reach something. They've reached it, and now they're on a downward spiral. How are you guys going to stop yourselves doing that?
Denial. Just denial.
I mean, it isn't the end, is it?
I'm quite lucky because I go straight into the Summer Youth Project. The Wyvern is 2 weeks after the show, so I can literally be in denial or bubble because I'm doing that for 2 weeks. So after that is when it will probably hit me. But it's not the end of the theatre company. I don't know.
You're going to keep going then. So obviously anybody that's listening at home, for definite, for obviously from the first show to now, obviously there's so much that we've learned in this one. If you to me, I would love to come and work out, because obviously there's so many different characters and all the rest of it, and I can see even this means a lot to you guys. Even by mentioning this is going to come to an end, you can see the sadness and all of you looking at each other and all of it. And
Brandy's cried every single rehearsal.
I think this is common in most amateur groups, though, because I've been doing amateur theatre for quite a while now, and show week is the best week because you're all together constantly and you put on a show, and then the week after just everyone has post-show blues, and you just see lots of messages, I really miss my character, I really miss you guys, but you know, hopefully this won't be the only thing we do, and we'll all get together again and start on the next journey and do hit something else. They've already been talking about it already. They're already
planned on that.
I started writing the next show, so
that's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
That's what we
He's
want to
gonna
hear.
cry. I can see it
Brandy
now.
I think you've cried every
like so
every
many
rehearsal.
times at rehearsals, because we finish the show because we've done Act 2 and we'll get to Act 2 and oh my gosh, it's Act 2 at the end,
And then I'm bawling. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I can't get through my song half the time because I'm in tears. I will for the show though, and it will be wonderful. Please come and but now.
Oh, bless you.
Before the last number, we always go, is somebody holding Brandy? Like, somebody needs to go and stand next to Brandy.
Act 2 is just like
Act
sad
2 is so
song after
sad.
sad song after sad song. It's really different. There is a moment where me and Senna look at each other. There's a moment that I've had to really like.
So it's a real emotional
If I
roller
don't cry, I
coaster.
will laugh.
Yeah. So we'll just be a really emotional moment and Senna.
You try to laugh your way through the emotion.
Cope with it, yes.
That's your coping mechanism, is it?
Laughing, yes.
So anybody that's sitting at home, obviously not just obviously about the show, that's obviously going through some of the stuff that your characters were going through, what would you recommend to them? Besides, obviously, reach out and come and join the...
Yeah, come and join also this Ghost Theatre group. Talk, communicate. That's the biggest thing. I think it's the biggest thing in the show as well, is they only start to get... Each of them only start to get better when they start talking about the thing that's wrong. A big thing about Emily and Lucille's relationship is they're never honest with each other. They're always kind of bending the truth or not being
skirting around it, kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking to other people about each other's problems. Like, this is where Dylan's character gets in the middle of it, because Dylan's getting everything from Emily and Lucille, and then your character is very like emotionally invested in her friends, so she just escalates it, and then it becomes an issue for Emily and Lucille, because actually it's not that bad.
No.
But if we had talked it out first, it wouldn't have got to that point. And a lot of the time it's just like, sorry, I went to Dylan about it.
My character gets two sides of a story, and so I think it becomes
really
extremely
is a
hard.
roller coaster, isn't it?
It really
Yeah,
is,
to deal with what's being said, what's true, what's not, who my character should be more worried about.
Yeah. Being honest about your feelings, because that's the biggest thing between them, is that neither of them are honest about how they feel about each other. And I think that's really scary, especially when you're younger as well. And if you like someone, you don't want to tell them. But being honest to yourself, being honest to other people, and communicating, because so much in the show could be avoided. So much in life can be avoided by just communicating with people, nipping things in the bud before it gets...
Do you think
like
we
that.
create our own problems sometimes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
By
yeah,
literally, like we're saying,
definitely.
not by communicating. You can damage your
Yeah.
own mental health by.
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of the problems that even the people that I help and that, and I'm thinking, if you had just gone and done that at why wait till crisis point
Yeah.
and just actually dealt with the beginning part when it was, rather than bury your head.
Yeah. It's definitely a bit, and it's sometimes it's really difficult to reach out, but sometimes we're just stubborn and we, dig our heels in because we think we're right or something. And actually, if you talk through something and come to the middle ground of the conclusion that actually it's not a case of who's right and who's wrong in the situation, it's a case of this is how we feel, and approaching it in, okay, well you feel this way, I feel this way, let's talk about it, rather than, well, I'm in the right because I did this, which is also the characters do quite a lot. Well, I'm in the right because she told me this, so that means I'm the one in the right, so I'm not guilty of blah blah blah. But actually, it's not about who's right or wrong, it's about how people feel. If you're making someone feel awful, which is what Lucille's doing quite a lot of the time, her defence is like, well, she told me this, so I'm in the right. And
Yeah.
actually, it's not about that. It's about how people feel. And if we have more empathy to that and put our egos aside and think, actually, the characters could really help each other get better. But there's some stubbornness there, I think.
Yeah, because that's where I think a lot of everyone calls it mental health, and obviously the bit that I'm kind of learning over the last 4 or 5 years, I want to change the word mental health to life, because when I, like a couple of weeks ago, my mental health went quite bad, didn't it? I'm helping a person to get them off the train tracks and one out of the river and bits and pieces, and it brought certain parts up that's affected me from the past, and then realised I can't always help somebody if they're triggering myself and I'm not dealing with my own mental health.
Yeah.
But I've realised, even though I knew I had the tools and I had people to talk to, and like Gareth, I've got Jen, I've got Richard, I've got lots of other people, it still took me a couple of days. But when you look back at it, I knew that there would be a good day coming, because I've learned, obviously with life, bad times will eventually turn into good times, and good times can turn into bad times. But that's what I want to change the word, because mental health now is a bit of everyone's pushed in a direction to get mental health, and everybody should talk about mental health, but nobody realises it's life sometimes that just gets too much.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just need that little.
Well, a lot of people focus on the negative of mental health.
Yes, not the positive.
There's not enough of the positive.
No.
And it's like, well, you guys have got coming up. You're all excited. You're massively excited about this. Positive mental health.
Yes.
But nobody's talking about that.
But the positive mental health, which I'm going to see, I reckon she might cry by the end of the show, because you could see her thinking at the end. Well, so you've got 2 weeks, which is obviously it's the
Oh God.
20th to the 22nd.
19th.
19th and 20th. I was trying to look over your shoulder at the same time. So obviously after that.
You're gonna set her off.
But do you not think, obviously, knowing that that's mental health as well at the same time, is it not?
Yeah.
Preparing yourself. So what are your friends? Obviously, they all looking around and they can see, they all worry about you. Has anyone got hold of her?
Yeah. No, we seriously say that.
Oh, is that exactly what you do?
No,
You know-
seriously. Someone always says, "Where's Brandy? We need to make sure she's all right," because she always cries at the last number.
I'm so cool in these guys, I promise. Like, I'm so chill. Like, I'm literally the coolest person going. Like, I sit there and I'm like, wow, this is okay. I don't feel anything. I'm not even crying. They're all lying, guys.
We're
I
gonna
promise.
have to do weekly runs of the show just
After.
to keep getting together.
Just do it like
Brandy.
a live and just have a little sing-song together.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I think the kind of idea. Oh gosh, when the show's done, it's been my life for a year.
Is that how long it's been taken together?
This time February, March last year, I started writing, and then we did the workshop in July. It'll be the anniversary of the workshop when we do the show.
Oh my God.
So it'll be a year from then.
So you've all been together since July, roughly, last year.
Yeah.
Which is wild. It will leave a little hole, I think, in.
But do you think you've
that.
obviously created friends for life now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Everything I ever do in the future, I'm going to rope these lot into.
So
Everything
you're going
I
to write
ever
the
do.
characters around them, right?
Yeah.
So has anybody else got any plans for writing something? Or are we all just waiting for the next one?
We're all waiting for Lou. I couldn't do what Lou does.
The idea of the company is I'd love to do like a scratch night or something for like new local writers, because Sienna writes music
Yes.
Lovely Sienna
You
writes
kept
some
that
music.
one quiet. I know, actually, I think you did mention it briefly on the last show, didn't you?
Yeah,
That you
I've
never-
been in the radio in here before, just talking
That's
about my
where
own stuff.
I knew
yeah.
it. Yes. So do you thinking about writing some? Obviously, we could have the first exclusive on this one.
Collaboration?
Collaboration.
Have to chase the rights then, would you?
No, I wouldn't have to worry about the copyright on the Instagram, would I?
But you write, because I write some stuff, you write. My partner writes music as well. He's like a musical guy. And so there is people, my Harry, who's in the show, Harry Darley, writes poetry, gorgeous poetry. So it's kind of, I'd love to do something that encourages new work and new writings, even if it's like a scene, someone's just written a scene for something, or written a song, and just wants to like...
So doing the writing and the singing and all the rest, putting it all together, do you think that helps with your mental health?
Yeah.
Or would you say it was a
think
distraction?
I'm hoping you can agree with me, songwriters. But I think if you don't know what was to say, then putting it to a melody and writing a song about it will always help me. If I ever have an issue in my life that I don't know how to speak about it, I will pick up my guitar and I will sit on my bed and I'll write a song about it.
For real.
So we've got a back catalogue. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm just about to say.
So we need to get you
we
into
could
sing
have the
some songs.
exclusive. Or have you already been in? Oh, you've been into the radio station. Have you given them an exclusive on a different show? Is that basically what you're telling me?
Yeah, there's probably some songs on the system.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I think it's true about all things, though, isn't it? Because you don't have to necessarily be a songwriter or a writer. It's about doing something you love doing. I mean, I played a lot of sport when I was younger, and like just doing that helps your mental health. It's finding something you enjoy doing and doing it, and I think that really does help your mental health. Or try something new. Join a theatre company. There's enough theatre companies in the Swindon area. Join them. See if that's the sort of thing that will help. We've got a lady who's never done a show before, Jane. She's never done this before, and she's only getting involved because
this is her debut.
This is her debut, and she's the most nervous out of all of us.
She's great.
But
She's amazing.
but she's and she hasn't done it before. But I think she'll be the one buzzing after the show and coming up to Lou and go, "What are we doing next? What are we doing next?"
See, so you're all at different stages of doing it. So like you've got someone who's never done it before. Some of you have done it before. So have any of you actually done this on the stage in front of an audience before then?
I think all of us
We're all
have.
theatre kids, aren't we?
Theatre kids.
Really,
Yeah.
at heart. There's a few, like, Amelia's has only just really recently started doing shows. Jane's never done one before. But Mel, who's playing our mother, did pantos with my dad. But hasn't done anything in years. I can't remember how many years she said. But she hasn't done anything in a long while.
So there's going to be a lot of emotions on that night then, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
From the audience as well, probably,
Yeah.
because it
Hopefully.
is a bit of a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got, 8.5 minutes. Are you going to sing us another song?
Yeah. What is it? Steamroller? Should we do Steamroller?
let's do Steamroller.
So this is Steamroller. This is Phoebe Bridgers, and this takes place during a very difficult part. I don't know how much to give away.
It's hard because this one's like quite.
Don't give it
sensitive.
all away, because we'll make sure that they come and watch
Yeah.
it.
It's
So
a
if
bit,
you
of
just
a,
get
bit of a spoiler, but Emily and Leo are singing to Lucille about how they feel about her. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Take it away.
Okay. You're a brother to me, you're my partner in crime. You're the feeling that I get when I'm feeling fine. Part of me wants you, but most of me needs you. So I won't fall unless you ask me to. You're the feeling I get when I'm feeling fine. All of me needs you. So I won't fall unless you ask me to.
Right, is it really, really bad? Obviously, I know it's emotional what they're singing, right? But you can see the passion on each one, which makes me smile because I know it's obviously sad songs and bits of people, but obviously you could see them all looking at each other and like encouraging the next one because they know what it actually all means to them. But obviously, anybody that's listening at home, obviously, we can see how much passion, and there's going to be tears, there's going to be ups, downs, lefts, rights, and obviously definitely goes because you're going to support, obviously, what they're doing. There's obviously them going to push it out further. You can go on our Instagram, which is at Open Doors, Open Minds. We have got the QR code, which will take you through for the 19th and 20th of July. You can also go on their Instagram, which is...
I know the end. Underscore musical.
You're used to saying that, right? And obviously we will hopefully put it up on the radio station on their website here as well. So guys, obviously it's getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the show, and I can see the emotions and how you're all treating each other, and what is it that you all want to say to each other for that, and obviously the rest of the people at home that are all going to be part of the show, what would you want to say to each other for the night?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna stop. Will you go first?
Oh, yeah, we'll go that way.
I mean, I a lot of my biography that we wrote for the programme was just thanking everyone for just, you know, like, everyone has been so supportive of each other, and like, it's not even just like the talent is just immense of this cast, but it's not even just that, it's just how lovely everyone's been. I didn't know half the people before we started, so yeah, definitely just want to thank everyone for that. Like, yeah, just incredible people.
Yeah. I didn't know any of these people before I came in, so I didn't know like what to expect, but from like doing shows before, this like is 100% like the cast that has been, so everyone has just been so supportive. I know I can rely on everyone. It doesn't even feel like a show cast anymore. It just feels like another little family that I have, that I know I can like turn to everyone. And yeah, I love them all. They're all amazing.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Brandy's crying.
Brandy's gone.
So
and she's gone.
I'll jump in. Yeah, this whole experience has been crazy. From like, I'm gonna go, don't look at me, look away. Kind of this, I say this show is my soul on stage. It's so much of me, and then sometimes that's really difficult, but then sometimes I'm like, oh god, what if it's awful, what if you know,
there's no way
wrong?
we've all just heard, and the listeners at home, there's no way that's going to be awful.
Then we have moments like this, or we teach a song and everyone sings it, and it's so much gratitude in my heart, because everyone cares.
I can clearly
It's
see that the
really,
way you look at each other and support each
it's
other.
really
You so
wonderful.
much care about each other.
Because sometimes, you know, if you write something and you think, oh, maybe it's not good, and then people care about it, that's all you can ask. That's all I can ever ask from anyone. It's just, you know, if you hit a wrong note or you do a wrong dance move, as long as you care, that's all I ask.
I
can't
see you doing much wrong, because obviously we've listened to you twice now, and yes, I can actually vouch that it's not a recording. So if YouTube or Instagram or any of them are listening to me and we was doing a live, it's not a copyright infringement.
It's just so much love. Same. Thank you.
Can I ask Dad the question on that one as well? Because obviously he's been there and he's supported all of you, and he can see the whole of from the start to the finish. What is your opinion on it? Because I can just see how they're all looking at each other, and imagine the rest of the cast is all exactly the same. And you've done, obviously, I think it's amazing what you're doing, and obviously stepping forward and how you support each other and cry.
It's okay to cry.
it's good to cry. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been around the amateur circuit for quite a while now, 20 odd years. In fact, probably before most of the cast were born. It used to take Louise to our rehearsals for the shows we used to do, and it's probably where she got the bug from. But yeah, no, it is amazing where Louise has created this thing, and everyone has just so bought into it. and you can just see that everyone wants it to do well. They want people to come and see it, and that they are so supportive of each other, which is strange because sometimes theatre groups can get a little bit catty, and people want to be the star, but I think everyone realises that they're doesn't matter what role you're playing, whether it's big or small, it's actually all contributing, and they all want it to do well. And I don't think I've ever known a group to be so supportive of each other. And admittedly, that does lead to a lot of laughing instead of rehearsing. But it is really amazing, and it's nice that I can really
see that they care about each other. I think the bond through this. So anybody that wants to do something like this, I would just obviously myself, just by watching and how close that everyone is and how much you're supporting it, I would definitely recommend it. And I've never done it yet, and I can see obviously the passion that you have all got for this, and obviously if the passion is like this in the studio, wait till performance night.
It's gonna be crazy.
I'm buying a lot of Kleenex. Other tissues are available.
Oh, blimey. Sorry. Yes, I can do that. So once again, obviously, before we go, we're coming towards the end of the show now. We've got about a minute left. So obviously, come on. You know where I'm going.
Brandy.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ask the question, girl.
Just in case we do get cut off while Brandy's crying and doing what needs to be done, and everyone, we want to say thank you very much for listening to the show, and we will be back again next Monday live at 2 o'clock. And don't forget the 19th and 20th of July. Go and support them and book your tickets and go and watch.
I'd just like to say, I'm going to go again. Big thank you to everyone involved. From the workshops, this has genuinely just helped to keep me going. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little preview of singing. It's just a massive thank you to everyone's been so supportive. This is one of my first proper shows I'm doing, and so it's been very scary and a lot of new stuff I've been doing, but everyone has been so talented. It's kind of intimidating, but in a loving way, because everyone is just so lovely and supportive, because I'm not on their level, but they haven't made me feel like that. You're welcome again.
That's what I mean, guys. If you could see what I could see in the studio right now, they're all
snot and tears.
Brandy is insane.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. It's so good, and it's lovely
Wait for her
to
jump splits.
Brandy's never been given a lead before, which is wild. Everyone give Brandy a lead in everything you ever do ever, because Brandy is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to facilitate that.
Facilitate
that. Her growth.
No. Gareth, you're going to have to say that word.
Facilitate it.
Say it again to the mic.
Facilitate.
No, I ain't saying that one. I'm going to play, obviously, the song that I played at the beginning, which we didn't hear, and obviously let that go out, which is Sweet Female Attitude. I'm going to play it. But thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best on opening night.
Thank you.
If I